Hello and welcome to Tap That MTG, where the show where we talk about everything we know about magic. It's probably wrong, but fun to talk about anyways. I'm Shauna.
I'm Leslie.
And today we're going to go through, in preparation for the pre-release coming up this weekend, we are going to go through the commons and uncommons that Leslie and I would not pass up if we're building our decks.
This is the stuff that we are super excited for to look for. This is not a set review. We're not going to go through every card. We're not talking about rares. We're not talking about mythics. And we're not even talking about all the commons and uncommons. We are only talking about the ones in each color that we would absolutely put in our probably play pile, depending on what colors we end up in.
Because let's face it, it's the commons and uncommons that are going to be doing the work for you.
Absolutely.
They don't have all the glory like the mythics and rares do, but they do the work.
Yeah. So the first one on our list is a Johnny's Pridemate.
Yes.
Yeah, this one made the list. We made our list separately. And then we compiled them together. So it was interesting to see the ones that Shauna put on her list and the ones that I put on my list. And this one was actually put on by you, Shauna.
Yes.
So why does this make your list?
So this is an old standby, and it's been printed before, even recently. And it's a Johnny's Pridemate. Whenever you gain life, it's a 2/2 for 2. And whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter on a Johnny's Pridemate. So I like life gain. And there is a little bit of, well, there actually is quite a bit of life gain in this set. And even just a 2/2 for 2 is a good card.
Yeah, regardless,
the little
it's good
counters
filler
in there. Yeah,
with definite upside.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, I didn't make my list just because, I don't know, I just have seen it so much. And it's a cat. I love it. I play it all the time. I just didn't put it on my, I gotta have it a Johnny's Pridemate. Maybe because I have too many of them.
Could be.
Maybe.
All right. Well, what about Divine Arrow, Leslie? That one made your list.
The next one on our list, Divine Arrow. So I love this card. It made my list because, of course, ultimately it's just Gideon's Reproach. So Gideon's Reproach itself is super good. Someone comes in, they attack, you do 4 damage to target attacking blocking creature. It does seem very specific, but I've used Gideon's Approach a lot. I've used it in other pre-releases, and it's a solid card. It does really well. And not to mention the flavor of this card is super awesome.
Go ahead, read it.
Yeah, well, Divine Arrow deals 4 damage to target attacking and blocking creature. And ultimately, like I said, it's Gideon's Reproach, but in this case, it's actually Oketra's arrow that is knocking Gideon off his Pegasus. So Gideon gets kind of his own medicine, via Oketra, which is ironic in and of itself. If you've read the Amonkhet stories, so yeah, I like that one.
And what about Gideon's Triumph, Leslie? You had that one picked as well.
Yes, that's the next one I had on my list. So Gideon's Triumph is a 1 white and 1 of any color. And it says, target opponent sacrifices a creature that attacked or blocked this turn. If you control a Gideon Planeswalker, that Planeswalker sacrifices, or that player Planeswalker sacrifices 2 of those creatures instead. So the nice thing about this one, and the reason that I would look for it, number one, it's removal, and removal is important. It only costs 2, so white and a colorless. And it doesn't have to be played. It's an instant, but it doesn't have to be played during combat.
Right.
Because the text itself says, target opponent sacrifices a creature that attacked or blocked this turn. So you can go to the attack phase, do the blocking, finish all that up. If you pull this card off of your deck, or if you have just pulled this in this turn, you can then go ahead and play it. Or let's say you have a card draw and you end up drawing this card in your second main phase because you played a draw card and you have enough mana. It just seems very versatile to me. So that's why I put it.
Yeah, and if you have this in your hand, you know what's coming up, so you can block the little guy, like who cares? And then he's left with 1 attacker. That is his big attacker, and
exactly,
it's dead.
Yeah, you can deal with all of the damage first
powerful.
and then change it. Or decide. So number 4 on our list is Prison Realm, and Prison Realm was put there by both of us.
Yes.
What is that one?
This card is the enchantment that we always need in a pre-release.
What does it say?
It is for 2 and a white. When Prison Realm enters the battlefield, exile target creature or planeswalker. That's a key point. Or planeswalker, and opponent controls until Prison Realm leaves the battlefield. When Prison Realm enters the battlefield, scry 1. So not only do you get to lock down their planeswalker or their big beast, you get to scry, which is always a good thing, especially in pre-release. You know what's coming up.
Good removal, good enchantment,
Yep.
good exiling, and you get to scry.
Yep.
So can't
It's
go
very
wrong
hard
with
for them to get rid of it once you've got it out there.
Number 5.
Yeah.
Number 5 on our list
So,
is Grateful Apparition. It is
We both like that one.
Yeah, 1 and a white. We both put this on our list. It is a creature spirit with flying. And when Grateful Apparition deals combat damage to a player, planeswalker proliferate. So proliferate in this set, it is just a plenty. Let's just say they proliferated their proliferate card. Oh my God, nobody can say that.
Yeah.
Pick a different word.
Oh my goodness.
Come on, wizards. Anyways, there's a lot of 1/1 counters in this set. There's a lot of proliferating in this set. Planeswalkers in and of themselves have counters automatically when they come in. And anything that I've seen in pre-releases, everyone has at least 1 or 2 planeswalkers. So there is going to be stuff to proliferate if you do things at the right time. And the timing of this can be really any time during the game for a white and a colorless. So yeah, that's why I put it on mine.
Yeah, and I always like to have a low-cost flyer at the beginning of the game. I always like that, regardless of the upside on this.
I love flyers anyway. It's just nice
a great way to get
go
in
in
there
and ping in
at them.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
Not to mention, you can put 1/1 counters on it, and then
Yeah.
your flower keeps growing, right?
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Which is my plan.
Shh! Don't tell.
All right.
People might be watching or listening.
Yeah.
So number 6 on our list.
The Lawrune Enforcer. That's one that I just love. I like my soldiers. This is just for 1 white. It's a 1/2. So it's got an awesome toughness. And an upside of it is that you can pay 1 and tap it to tap a target creature with converted mana cost 2 or greater. So this not only is going to get in there and just be a little beast protecting you and maybe even getting in there for you, but you can use it to get their big beast out of the way later on in the game. So it's just a good little workhorse.
Yeah.
Or work soldier, basically. I shouldn't say horse. He's a soldier. He's just going to get a lot done for you, I think, personally. So
yeah. I didn't put him on my list, but I thought he was okay. But I did see him do some work at the pre-release. So
yeah. He's a good little guy.
All right. Next one on our list is Makeshift Battalion.
Here we are again with another soldier.
Soldiers.
I love my soldiers. So
this was on Shauna's list as well.
Yes. So for 2 and a white, whenever Makeshift Battalion and at least 2 other creatures attack, put a 1/1 counter on Makeshift Battalion. It's a 3/2. So I love 3/2s. A lot of people don't like them. I love them. And a lot of people underestimated the little Hasda Marshal that I play all the time in my green and white deck. And now people are actually starting to get rid of him right away, because when he goes in with his buddies, he makes more buddies.
Yeah.
And this one is going to make more counters. So I'm going to be building my whole deck with a whole bunch of creatures. That's my plan. And this guy is going to go in here and be...
Yeah. We talked about
up.
proliferate. Yeah. And then this one, it adds counters that you can then proliferate. So if you're putting any kind of proliferate or counter stuff in your deck, then you're definitely want this is a must-have.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's a common.
Yeah. So, you're going to have lots of them. Him and his buddies.
You're going to probably get 1 in your 6 packs.
Yeah, exactly. At least. Hopefully more.
If you don't blame me.
Yeah, exactly. And don't play it if you don't have buddies to go with it. So
exactly.
Leslie, tell us about Trusted Pegasus.
Yeah, the next one on our list is Trusted Pegasus for 2 and a white. It is another flying creature. It's a Pegasus, of course. When Trusted Pegasus attacks, target attacking creature without flying gains flying until the end of the turn. So
Think of him with the makeshift battalion.
yes, it's great. So this is similar to ones we've seen in other sets. Is it a reprint?
No, it's a little bit different.
It's a little bit different. The one that
this
I'm
is a
thinking
better
of is a
power.
1/2. I can't remember what that
Yeah.
Pegasus was. So this has a little bit more power to it. So it's a 2/2, which is awesome. It costs 3.
Mhm.
It's got flying, and it makes something else flying. So to me, you know, your typical 2/2 for 2.
Mhm.
So you add 1 more mana to get your, you know, well, it's flying. So
It's flying,
we'll
yeah.
we'll give it 1 more mana. But you also get to make something else flying, like your 3/2,
Mhm.
or any other creature, like your army that you're probably going to have amassed,
Yeah.
and it is going to be proliferated
4/4
into
flying.
a 8/8 with flying. If you don't have a trusted Pegasus yourself, you see one played on the other side of the battlefield, you should remove it.
Yes.
Period.
You don't want that there.
No. Yeah. It's a good card.
Yes, very much so.
We also had some honorable mentions
Mhm.
in our things, and why they were honorable mentions we're going to talk about.
Yep.
So the first ones we talked about were like, hey, if you see this, then you should
Be
probably look for it. It's a
really tempted to
must-have.
use, yeah.
Definitely real tempted to use. These ones are like, I don't
Depends on the
know.
situation.
Maybe.
Yeah.
They're still really good cards. So the first one that we have is Sunblade Angel. What is Sunblade Angel?
So it unfortunately costs 5 and a white. So it's a little expensive for a 3/3 body, but it has flying, first strike, vigilance, and lifelink. So it comes with this huge package. So if I need something for
Huge
the late
package.
game, huge package, yes.
Keep it clean.
I'm definitely going to want to put that in. If
Definitely.
I'm going with white and that whole lifelink idea. This is going to come out from nowhere at the end of the game, and
well, and if you
probably-
watched our pre-release video about Mana Curve, it's not unusual to have at least 1 or 2 cards that are 5 or 6 mana cost. So that's okay.
Mhm.
You usually don't want them to just be 3/3s, but the fact that it has flying, first strike, vigilance, and lifelink is what sets it over, not into the must-haves, but into the honorable mentions.
Yeah.
It costs 6. That's the only reason why it's like, if it cost 5, I'd be happier. And then, yeah, 5 would be better.
Yeah.
Wizards, 5 would be
You
better.
can make every card perfect.
Yeah, well, when you think about Lyra, though, like Lyra is a 5/5 with lifelink,
Yes,
and she only costs 5.
but she's Lyra.
Yeah, she's not an uncommon. That's
Yeah,
true.
She's not.
It is an uncommon. Okay.
Yes.
So the next one on our list is
The Wanderer.
The Wanderer.
Yes,
so
such
we've
beautiful
talked about
art.
this one
I love
before.
this
Beautiful
card.
art. I love that they haven't. This is the only planeswalker that doesn't have a subtype. It is just a legendary planeswalker. Normally they're legendary
heck is she?
planeswalker of
Nobody
Nixilis
knows.
or Nixilis. Legendary planeswalker
I never
Jace.
noticed that.
This one is a legendary planeswalker. Who knows?
Question mark.
They're keeping him, I don't know,
Whatever it is.
very ambiguous.
Yep.
They. So we both put this on our list, and it is our first planeswalker on the list for 3 and a white. It prevents all non-combat damage that would be dealt to you this turn and other permanents you control. Sorry, not just this turn, forever, until it dies.
Well, it's there.
And then its -2 ability is exile target creature with power 4 or greater. So not only is it removal, it gets rid of those big creatures, but it stops. So it stops green stompy.
Yep.
It stops red
Yep. All those
And-
slashing in your face.
slashing in your face.
Yep.
All of those non-combat spells that are going to do damage to you. And hopefully you have stuff to deal with those.
So it wouldn't
other
stop the
things.
stompies. Prevent all non-combat damage.
No, but exile target creature with
Oh
power
yeah, I
4 or
see what you're
greater.
saying. Okay. Yes.
So you can
Yeah.
get rid of those
Get rid
green
of it.
stompies
Totally.
or those big armies.
Yeah.
Plus, then you can stop
Yeah.
them from doing damage to your creatures that are non-combat damage.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I love that. And it starts with 5, which is a decent
Yeah, you can
amount
hopefully
of
do that
loyalty.
twice. Yeah,
Decent
at
amount of
least.
loyalty counters to start
If not
with.
more.
So,
Yeah.
if I got her, she wouldn't be a must-have because she doesn't deal with everything.
Yeah.
But I like her a lot.
I definitely want to sideboard her in if I find I'm playing
Yeah.
against somebody with lots of big.
That's what I was
big
thinking. A
creatures.
sideboard
Yeah.
card. Good
Yeah.
sideboard card.
Or anybody who's playing lots of red and blue, lots of spells.
Yeah.
It'd be good as well.
So then the last on our list.
Yes, the little war screecher. I put that on because here we are again with a little flyer that's for 1 and a white. It's a 1/3 flyer. So again, it's getting in there early. It's hard to get rid of because it's got a 3 toughness. And the bonus is that you can later on, so it's flying, you can later on pay 5 and a white and tap it, and other creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, again, it's good early in the game, and then it's just a little nice to have at the end of the game, and just get in there and swing, buff everybody up, and people are going to worry when you have 6 mana up and you're swinging with a whole bunch of creatures. So because your war screecher is going to buff them all up. So yeah, I like them.
Yeah, I didn't put that on my list. I didn't think it was good enough to make a, hey, we should talk about this card, but we have.
Yep, I like them. I like them.
All right, on to blue.
Yes.
So we have about the same amount of cards on our blue list, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I actually didn't think I would have a lot of blue cards because I don't typically play
No.
blue. But as I was looking at it, I was like, wow, there's more blue in. I think I picked the most must-haves myself for blue.
Yes.
And
I
black.
think you did.
Black I knew I was going to do. It's like basically in this pre-release, you're going to be playing black and something else.
Oh, you think so?
I think so. Personally.
Black has, yeah, we'll
There's
get
so
into,
many
we'll
good
get
cards.
into that. We'll
But-
get into that.
Speaking of blue, the first one on our list is Aven Eternal.
It's just
And
an awesome card.
Aven Eternal is an awesome card. Yes, it's 2 and a blue. It's another flyer. It's a 2/2 flyer. And when Aven Eternal enters the battlefield, amass 1. So you get your zombie army.
Mhm,
You
right
get
away.
a 2/2. So you basically are getting 2 creatures. You're getting a 1/1 and a 2/2. A 2/2 flyer and a creature that
Mhm.
basically can get bigger and bigger as you proliferate or do other things. For 3 mana early in the
It's
game.
crazy.
It's
crazy.
really, really good.
Yeah. It's going to be hard not to go blue if you
It's a common.
see something like this.
This card will be in a lot of packs. In fact, at the pre-release, I keep talking about that, but as I've seen cards played out, that was used in a lot of, any deck that was blue had those in it.
Mhm.
The next card is one that I love. What's the next card?
So this is Eternal Skylord. We both chose this one as well. It's a zombie wizard, and it for 4 and a blue. It's a 3/3, but when it enters the battlefield, amass 2, which is cool. It's a 3/3, and then you're also getting a 2/2.
Yeah,
So
and
for
it's
5.
a mass too, which is great. Or you add 2 to your other army.
Right.
Because you've already played Aven
You already
Eternal
played-
the
yeah,
previous
That's
turns.
true. That's true. But then, way down here in the bottom of the card, it says zombie tokens you control have flying.
Flying zombies!
Oh my god!
What the heck?
Right? So
I love it.
all these zombies that you're making with this blue deck, you're suddenly going to have all these flyers.
Can I just say too that I love that we have blue zombies. Like zombies are always been like black. When Amonkhet came, we're like, oh, we have white zombies. That's really cool.
Yep.
And now we have blue zombies.
Blue zombies.
What? I mean,
Yeah.
the zombie armies are black. So when you amass, but you could make a zombie army token that looked blue.
It's true.
I think someone that makes tokens should do that.
Just saying.
I will buy it.
Yes, we will.
All
Okay,
right, number
Leslie, tell
3 on
us
the
why
list.
you chose Jace's Triumph.
Yes. So the next one on our list is Jace's Triumph. It's one that I chose. So this one is 2 and a blue, and you draw 2 cards. If you control a Jace Planeswalker, draw 3 cards instead. Most of the stuff that belongs to a Planeswalker, that if you control this Planeswalker, is
It's a
kind of
bonus.
irrelevant. It's a bonus. But 3 to draw 2 cards is basically divination, which
Yeah.
is great. It's a good card in and of itself. Card draw is super important, especially if you're in blue.
Yep.
So this one I picked because if I'm in blue and I see this card, I'm definitely going to play it. That's why I picked it. Ultimately, it's
Okay.
like you're playing blue, you need card draw, you need to be able to get spells. You're probably
Yeah.
playing a lot of instants and sorceries. You need them in your hand, so you need to draw cards. And the bonus of if you happen to be that lucky person that pulls a Jace or that
Mhm.
really mean terrible person that pulls Jace, then you get to draw 3 cards instead, and which is awesome. So
yeah.
in limited, you're probably not, but it's a good workaround for later on. And yeah, that's why I put that one in.
Okay. Yeah,
Next.
card draw is good. Yep. Kasmina. We both thought the Kasmina Enigmatic Mentor, Planeswalker, uncommon Planeswalker for 3 and a blue. Spells your opponents cast that target a creature or planeswalker you control cost 2 more to cast. So let's face it, there's going to be people playing red fire in your face.
Any instance in sorceries, right?
Yeah.
Like you want to get rid of those things.
You want to make their card draw.
Every
cost
color
more.
has that. Yeah.
Right? So that's what she's going to do for you. Just sitting there. But then also you can do a -2 on her. Her initial loyalty is 5. And you can create a 2/2 blue wizard creature token, draw a card, then discard a card. So there's that card draw engine.
Not only do you get a 2/2,
Yeah.
you get to draw a card, you get to discard a card. Well, you have to discard a card.
Yeah.
I'd rather just draw a card, but you know.
There's a special name
let's
for
not
it, but I
want it
forget
all.
what that's called.
Oh,
That
yeah.
blue does where they draw a card and discard a card. There's a special name for it.
Yeah, all you magic people
Yeah.
that use acronyms.
I don't know.
We just
Anyway,
like
that's
to
what this card
read what the
does.
card says
Yeah.
and not make up special acronyms for them.
Yes.
The lingo. Anyways,
Yeah.
we both put this on our list. Kasmina, she's a new planeswalker,
Yeah.
so that's pretty fun. I haven't read about her yet.
Yeah, I don't know her story at all.
But I did get the book.
Guessing she's a wizard.
And I'm excited. And I'm making you a video instead of reading it. So you guys should be grateful.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways. Yeah. So I really like this. Basically just for spells your opponents cast to
Punish
target
them.
creatures and planeswalkers you control cost two more to cast. It's 4 mana, so it's going to be out
bit of
relatively
protection.
early, but the next card that we have on our list is even better, and it
Yes.
has to do with her. Kasmina's Transmutation.
Yes.
Not only is this card got the best art, I think, in the whole set.
It's so cool.
It's like a frog that
He's wearing clothes.
is wearing like clothes, and he's blue, and Kasmina's in the background. Anyways, it's 1 and a blue enchant creature, and that creature loses all abilities and has a power and toughness of 1/1. Basically, you just turn something into a frog,
Yeah, I'm gonna make your god into
which
a frog.
is everything in fantasy magic that you ever want to do.
Yeah.
You just want to, that.
Turn into a frog. Isn't there a card called Turn into Frog?
Anyways,
Yeah.
I love this card, and not only is it like cool card, great card to have. Someone
Mhm.
has, it doesn't matter, like
It's only 1 in a blue.
it's 1 in a blue, and
That's
you
it.
get to incapacitate. They still have a 1/1, but if they block with it, then their creature's dead.
Yep.
So you've basically just taken it out of the game for 2, and that's awesome removal.
Yes.
What's next?
Well, Tamio's Epiphany.
Mm-hmm.
She is the little librarian.
Tamio.
Tamio, yes. And so
You
this
just like her
card,
'cause
I
she's a
do like her
librarian.
because she's a librarian. But this card is going to be, I think, very powerful if you are running the blue spells type deck, especially because for 3 and a blue, you can scry 4, then draw 2 cards. So you're able to go in on that top 4 cards of your deck and figure out which are the best 2. At any time in the game. That's useful. At any time in the game.
You got to get to 4.
Well, yeah, you have
So-
to get to 4 mana, of course, yes. And then draw those 2 cards. So it's just, to me, I think it's going to be kind of a,
Yeah, and I suppose I
Game winner
I
type
didn't put
thing.
it on my list, but I suppose you don't need a lot of scrying at the beginning anyway, just because
you're just getting going.
you're just getting going, and the knowledge of the cards in your thing and what you specifically need is going to come turn 4 or 5 anyway. So
Yeah, and by that point, you want to finish the game. You want to
Yeah.
close this out.
Yeah.
And being able to, with the blue and the, having a blue and a red spell type deck, to be able to, okay, yeah, I need these 2 spells. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to just annihilate you.
Yeah.
That's, I don't know. I just thought it was crazy.
Yeah.
Scrying 4.
it's cool.
Every time somebody can do that to me, it's insane. So
So we also have we're on to our honorable mentions for blue. And our first honorable mention is Callous Dismissal. It's a sorcery and it costs 1 and a blue. And it's return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand and you get to amass 1. I'm kind of thinking, I'm not sure why we put that on honorable mention because I'm kind of thinking maybe it should jump up. But partly because it's a sorcery.
Putting it back in their hand.
You're putting it back in their hand. They get to recast it, but if it's an amass token, you can put it back into their hand.
True.
And then it disappears.
Then it disappears, you're right.
So getting rid of some of those people's tokens, and you get your own little army, or you get to make your army bigger. It's basically Blink. And its plus side, instead of being able to kick it, is that you get a little army.
Yeah.
And Blink was good.
Blink was
so
good.
Yeah.
Especially in pre-release, it was good.
Yeah. Honorable mention, good removal. I'm thinking I might actually bump that up into a must-have.
Yeah, okay.
Callous
Especially if you're in the blue.
If you're in blue, for sure. Yeah. But that's the assumption with all of these.
I suppose,
that
yes.
you're playing that color.
I suppose, yes.
Yeah. What's the next one?
Contentious Plan.
Mm-hmm.
So this is for 1 and a blue. And it's basically proliferate. Why is that so hard? Everyone can't say that word. Proliferate. So yeah, you get to do that. Plus, you get to draw a card. So there's that card draw, and there's that making your stuff bigger.
Definitely worth an honorable mention there. You get to draw a card. Actually, you know what? Drawing a card for 2 mana is worth it. And then you throw proliferate in there.
Yeah, you have to have things with counters on them, but we're going to have things with counters on them.
But, you know, I might
drawing a card. I don't know.
I might bump that one up too. Blue is looking
it
better
depends.
and better.
If we're doing blue, then...
Well, of course we're doing blue. That's what we're talking about.
If you're blue and white, especially, if blue and white, if you were doing blue and white and you had lots of... I don't know.
Well, regardless, 2 to draw a card is good.
Yeah, I suppose we do that all the time. We want that all the time.
So the proliferate is just a bonus.
Yeah, true. Okay.
Anyway.
All right.
Number 4 on our list, or number 3 on our honorable mentions is Narset. So I put that one on there. And Narset costs 1 and 2 blue. So she might be a little harder to get out in a limited, which is why she's honorable mention for me. But each opponent can't draw more than 1 card each turn, which doesn't really mean anything in this. However, you get to look at the top 4 cards of your library, reveal a non-creature, non-land card from among them, and put it into your hand, and put the rest at the bottom of your library in random order. Ultimately, she went to Azcanta and learned how to search.
I hate that card.
So she is a planeswalker that has the search for Azcanta ability, ultimately twice, but if you keep proliferating her, she does continual search for Azcanta or searching your library, which is cool. I don't know that I would that's why she's honorable mention for me. She would be a maybe card, but I do like her search ability. And yeah, that's why she made honorable mention for me.
Okay.
Next.
I like this artwork and I love this card again.
Pick cards because of artwork.
It's Thunder Drake. So this one is a 2/3 flyer for 3 and a blue. Mm-hmm. Again, a 2/3 flyer is hard to get rid of, and it's going to get in there and do some damage. But what's even awesomer about this one is that not only is it flying, but whenever you cast your second spell each turn, put a 1/1 counter on it. So how many times are you going to cast 2 spells? Especially when you're running blue.
Maybe.
And a spell includes when you cast a creature.
Maybe.
Or a planeswalker. So you're casting those cards. That's why I like it.
It's fair. No, that's totally fair. It didn't make my list because it seemed a bit conditional. So definitely you can use it with proliferate if you end up getting a counter on it, which would be great. If it all worked good, then awesome. But I'm not convinced that it's going to work every time because, just in limited.
He's just a good flyer even without.
Yeah, he's a decent flyer without. I'm not sure you're always going to be able to cast 2 spells though.
Well, I'm hoping at that top end.
If it was your first spell each turn, that would be better.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But then it would make my honorable mention for sure.
Okay.
All right, moving on to black.
Moving on to black.
So our must-haves in black. The first one is Eternal Taskmaster. This made both of our lists.
Yeah.
And for 1 and a black, Eternal Taskmaster enters the battlefield tapped, which is okay because he only costs 2 for a 2/3 body.
Mm-hmm.
And then whenever Eternal Taskmaster attacks, you may pay 3. If you do, you return a target creature from your graveyard to your hand. So definitely, if you are in black, this is a card you're going to want to have. Black is typically pull from graveyard, grab your zombies and
Let's do it all
whatnot.
again.
Let's do it all again. So it doesn't matter what other color you're playing with it, or if you're just playing mono black, it's just a great thing to grab all of those cards with Enter the Battlefield or Mass, and just keep bringing stuff back to you. So yeah, that was pretty much a no-brainer for us.
Yeah, totally.
Both of us put it on our list. Second?
The second one is Herald of the Dreadhorde, and again, we both picked this one. Yeah, it's for 3 and a black. It's a 3/2 zombie warrior. And when it dies, you get to amass 2. So it's the gift that keeps on giving, basically. And yeah, you put that in combination with the Eternal Taskmaster, and
it doesn't amass until it dies.
Yeah.
But you have a good body that you can attack in with that they may not want you to let die. So, or they may not want to let die because you're going to get to amass 2. So they're going to have to think about whether they want to block it or not. If they block it with something, if they chump it, then you've gotten rid of one of their chumpers and you can attack again the next turn. It's just a great little,
it's a tool for sure.
Tool. If you're in black
Zombies.
and you see that, definitely pull that.
Yeah.
The third one on our black must-have list is Liliana's Triumph. For 1 and a black, Liliana's Triumph is an instant, and each opponent sacrifices a creature. If you control Liliana's Planeswalker, oh, that would be so sweet.
Oh, yes.
Each opponent also discards a card. So upside if you have Liliana, but for 2, you get each opponent to sacrifice a creature. That's just, I mean,
I love it. I do it all the time.
It's awesome to be able to make people choose. It's a little bit conditional because if someone has a very wide board, then all of a sudden it's in your hand and you're like, eh.
But it's instant speed, so you can save it for those moments.
Yeah.
Because you're going to annihilate them anyway. So
of course you are.
With black.
Yeah. It's a good card. It's a good removal card. I would definitely put it in my deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obnixilis, the Hate Twisted. That we both were in love with that card too. And believe it or not, it's an uncommon for 3 and 2 black, so it might be a little hard to get out there. But if you do, whenever an opponent draws a card, Obnixilis, the Hate Twisted, deals 1.
Just a hater.
Whenever the opponent draws a card, he gets punished for
that means every single turn at least
a little bit
once.
of a sting.
And if they have a bunch of card draw, they're playing blue. So you might want to, in standard, when you get, you're building a constructed deck, it would probably make a sideboard. But in limited, decks are pretty small, and people that are doing card draw are going to want to put card draw in quickly. And so if you get him out, it would just be great. And then his upside, his minus ability
minus 2, and he's a loyalty of 5, so hopefully you do this twice. Destroy target creature. Its controller draws 2 cards.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can destroy that creature and then make them draw 2 cards, which kind of sucks, but
no, you're gonna
make them.
You're gonna destroy your own creature.
You're gonna destroy your own creature.
Absolutely. If you're in black, you have tokens.
I suppose.
You're gonna have some tokens. You're gonna
you
have a little 1/1.
You have options.
You're going to destroy your dread.
You make him draw 2
Herald
cards.
of the Dreadhorde. That's your 3/2.
Yeah, I suppose.
And you're gonna amass 2 because of it, and then you're gonna get to draw 2 cards. So it's a way for you to get 2 card draws. Punish them. You do it after you attack. So you've gotten your damage in.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I would do. Anyways.
That's what you would do?
Yeah. Next on our list.
All right. Obnixilis' Cruelty.
Ooh.
It's an instant. 2 and a black. Target creature gets -5/-5 until end of turn. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. Like that is the
-5.
-5.
Cost 3.
You're dead. Yeah, that's dead.
That's a must-have. If you see that, play it. It's a common.
You're black. Put it in your black deck.
If you're black, like, if you don't play it, why?
Why? And it's a common.
Why?
It's a common.
Yeah. That's great.
They're going to be flying all over the place.
It's a little bit cheap for that, I think.
Yeah. And it's an instant. They put out their big creature. They've spent all their mana. Yeah, sorry. You're dead. Yeah. It's dead. What?
This card is going to be a problem.
Suck.
It's going to be a problem.
It's going to be a big problem for my creature decks.
Right.
I might just have to change. Anyway.
So the next one we have is Spark Harvest. This is one that Shauna has on her list. It costs 1. It is, as an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature, pay 3 and a black, and it's destroy target creature or planeswalker. So I didn't put this one on my list, but you did. Why?
I did because I've been playing a lot of this kind of deck lately where I'm building up my army deliberately to sacrifice pieces of it to just mess with the other person. Mm-hmm. So yeah, if I go with a black deck, I'm going to be putting that in there because I just like to mess with people. So I would plan for that.
Mm-hmm. I didn't like that you had to sacrifice a creature or pay 4. Mm-hmm. So I thought, even it only cost 1, and if you had stuff to sacrifice, like we just talked about with Ob Nixilis, then okay. Then
but
definitely.
Even I've played cards, even paying 4 that destroy a creature or planeswalker, that's still pretty.
But you're not. You're paying 5. You're paying 3 and a black.
Oh yeah.
As well as the 1.
You're paying 5. Okay.
So now you're paying 5 to destroy a creature.
But, yeah, I would.
That gets
build
pretty costly if you can't
build around
sacrifice.
that card.
Right.
For
but
sure.
This is limited, so
it's limited. So
yeah. So Vraska's Finishers are next one.
Mm-hmm.
And it is 2 and a black. And whenever Vraska's Finisher enters the battlefield, destroy target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls that was dealt damage this turn. So this one didn't make my list, but it made yours. So
again, because of this whole messing with them, and I've been doing it a lot more lately of playing cards in my second main phase that deliberately take advantage of what they've done in the battle, right? And
it's a nice combat trick.
Yeah.
If you have something that you can ping with, then that's great.
Yes. Little flyers, or something that they can they'll be, of course I'm going to block that and kill it. Then that's great. But it was conditional for me. That's why I probably would, for me, I would put that in an honorable mention, definitely. But that's the only reason why it wasn't in my must-haves. But I liked it.
They're all good cards. It was really hard to make these lists because
for sure
we didn't want to, we could have said all the cards are good. and there's
in the right situation they are, yes.
There's so many good cards in any situation. And I think that's the biggest thing when I talk to people, new players in particular, about cards, and they always ask, well, what's a good card? What's a good card for my deck? What do I need to put in my deck? And cards are I'm not going to say there's no bad cards in Magic, but the people at Wizards of the Coast have put a lot of time and energy into making sure that each card has flavor, purpose, and a place. And I truly, truly believe that every card out there has a place in a deck somewhere. So it really depends on what deck you're building, what build around you're working on, and even the first Tybalt. Someone out there loves him. In fact, I know someone.
We know someone.
So, don't hate on the cards. No. So, honorable mentions for us, we have Davriel Rogue Shadow Mage, which is the Brandon Sanderson addition to Planeswalkers in our universe, or our Magic Planes verse. It's hard to read his name. Anyway, for 2 and a white, at the beginning of each opponent's...
I want you to know his name.
Or black. Sorry, we're talking black. For 2 and a black. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, if that player has One or fewer cards in their hand, Davriel Shadow Mage deals 2 damage to them. Target player discards a card is his -1. So not only do you get to minus him to make them discard cards, which is super fun. If you've been making them discard cards in other ways, it's turn 3 that you've played him. So turn 4, they're going to have played quite a few cards already. And the likelihood is in the next couple of turns, they're going to have less than 2 cards in their hand unless they have card draw. So if they don't get rid of this, they're taking not only just 1 per turn like Ob Nixilis, they're taking 2 per turn. That's awesome. I love that card.
It's just rude.
That was on both of our lists.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just rude.
So it was an honorable mention. The reason it was honorable mention for me was because it is situational.
Yeah. If they have a lot of card draw.
Yeah.
It's not going to do a lot.
Yeah. So, but I would have it like sitting off to the side, probably sleeved, so that I could throw it into my deck and get it ready in case. Yeah. And the last one on our honorable mention.
Yes. That was one of your choices. That one. I like it too, but
so it's,
again, that combat trick stuff.
Yeah. So Sorin's Thirst. It costs 2 black, which is why it made honorable mention for me. I liked it because it was removal. Sorin's Thirst deals 2 damage to target creature, and you gain 2 life. So you have a little bit of life gain. It's it's okay. But the 2 damage for removal, it made honorable mention for me because I just thought it's a small amount to pay to finish off and just do a little bit of damage to target creature. And it's an instant. So you can definitely use that as a combat trick.
Yep. You've almost got it dead and then you just finish it off with that. Yeah, for sure. Okay, the Reds. Leslie, tell us why the On-Crop Invader was on your list.
Well, that one is our first red, yes. And On-Crop Invader is 2 in a red. And as long as it's your turn, it has First Strike, which I love. It's a 2/2 for 3, which you're like, that's, 2/2 for 3 isn't great. But then you add First Strike when it's not your turn.
Yep.
So this is an attacker. It's not a sit back and block. Nope. We're being aggressive now. We're in red.
Yep.
But not only that, you can sack. Doesn't have fire breathing, and I'm not going to call it what everyone else was calling it because I think that's gross. But at the pre-release, they were calling it meat breather.
Oh gosh.
Because you don't breathe fire. You sacrifice another creature.
Oh, okay.
And it gets +2/+0. So it's not just +1/+0. It's +2/+0 for sacrificing another creature. So again, you have some tokens, you have some creatures, you're doing your kill thing. It's last turn of the game. This is a finisher, this card. You play it, you finish the game with it. By attacking in with it, they decide, I'm not going to block with it. Right. I'm going to block all of these creatures. They're all dying anyway. Even if they've blocked this one, it's got First Strike. So, okay, this one's dying, this one's dying, this one's dying. I'm going to sacrifice all 3 of those and give it +6/+0 with its First Strike.
I see what you're saying. Yep.
So it stays alive, and then eventually you kill off all of their creatures with it, and then you win the game.
Yeah. Okay.
It's awesome.
Okay. It's a Minotaur.
Yeah.
Okay.
Zombie Minotaur, actually.
All right.
It's awesome.
Well, I'm going to talk about the card.
Which, if you had that blue card that gave zombies flying, this would be flying.
True, it would be flying on top of that.
Yeah.
And sink your mana into it. You can sacrifice.
Have I convinced you yet?
Okay, fine. Be a flying zombie, flying red zombie. All right, so Chandra's Pyrohelix. We both like that card for 1 in a red. It's an instant that's just going to deal 2 damage divided as you choose among 1 or 2 targets. That's just yeah. Just does the work.
Enough said.
Yep.
It's a good card.
Similar to that is Chandra's Triumph. We both like that one too, which is 1 in a red, another instant. And it's Chandra's dealing 3 damage to a target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. And if you happen to have Chandra, the Planeswalker, out, you get to deal 5 damage instead.
Can I just remind everyone how much I love Chandra?
Chandra's awesome.
And again, I'm reading the book, and she's just as awesome. Did you know that she had a little crush on Gideon?
She did?
Oh my gosh, she talks about it in the book. And his chiseled abs. And how she doesn't have a crush anymore. Thing. They're just friends now, but she used to have a crush on him. Anyways.
Well, who wouldn't? It's Gideon.
Well, it's Gideon. He's pretty handsome.
All right.
So the next one on our list is Jaya's greeting. Jaya, who happens to be Chandra's mentor, which is great. Yep. So Jaya's greeting is 1 and a red, and it deals 3 damage to target creature, scry 1. 3 damage and scry 1. This for 2.
I love it. I love it.
That's a broken card, and you should play with it. If you are playing in red, you should play with it.
I love the flavor text, too. We have visitors. Well, it'd be rude not to give them a traditional Carol Keep welcome.
Right?
In their face. Yeah, I love it. But it's not in their face. It's a target creature.
Yeah.
So that's the only downside. Is it's a creature only.
Dirty grandma.
Dirty grandma. Dirty grandma. Speaking of dirty grandma, I insist that if I get Jaya Venerate Fire Mage, I'm playing red. I'm just playing red.
What if you have no other good cards?
I don't care.
You're just like,
I got Dirty Grandma.
All right.
Dirty Grandma's back. For 4 in a red. For 5 loyalty Planeswalker. If another source you control would deal damage to a permanent player, it deals that much damage +1.
Another red source.
Another red source. Yeah. Sorry. Red source. Well, of course, red.
Well, sorry. I had to read it because I was like, what? Any source? That makes it... Okay.
So, yes. So, you're going to... When you do your Jaya's greeting, it's going to be 6 damage. Or, sorry, not 6 damage. I get excited. 4 damage instead. Yeah. Which is awesome. And... her -2 ability is that she deals 2 damage to any target. Mm-hmm. So automatically you're getting 3 damage right now. Hopefully twice at least, if not more.
I never thought of that.
Yeah. She just does it right now.
Herself too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's pretty cool.
And the artwork's awesome. Okay, our honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions.
Oh yeah.
First honorable mention is Burning Prophet.
Burning Prophet. She looks like a grandma too. No. She belongs with Dirty Grandma, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. So she is a 1 in a red. This is the Burning Prophet. Human Wizard. She is a 1/3. Mm-hmm. And, which isn't fantastic. I like the 3 toughness. But whenever you cast a non-creature spell, she gets +1/+0 and you get to scry. So again, if I have that Jaya spells kind of deck, I'm going to be playing the Prophet with it. And just making a lot of stuff happen is my plan.
It's a decent filler card. Yeah. It's worth honorable mention. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So our second honorable mention is Dread Horde Twins. Mm-hmm. It is another zombie that's in red. Mm-hmm. When it enters the battlefield, you get to amass 2, which is awesome.
Yep.
And because now you're going to be playing blue-red, because your zombies have flying if you're playing blue with that other guy. And if you're using this card along with it, zombie tokens you control also have trample. So you have Frample zombies that are amazing.
Yeah. It's a little expensive.
Your zombie army, yes, it's why it's only honorable mention. 4 isn't bad. 4 for a 2/2 is, sucks. It sucks a lot.
But you get another 2.
But it gives your zombies trample. And if you have a huge zombie army.
Yeah, well, you get 2 creatures for free.
Everyone assumes, we're all just assuming we're going to have huge zombie armies. I don't know how true that is. I haven't seen that play out. I guess we'll find out this weekend. Our next honorable mention is Spellgorger Weird.
Okay, and the Spellgorger Weird is... I like the weirds. I really do. I don't know why. It's kind of weird. For 2 in a red, you get a 2/2. And again, it's that whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a 1/1 counter. So this gets to stay on our Spellgorger Weird. So again, if you got that spell deck happening, you're making this bigger and bigger and bigger. Proliferating, hopefully too, with some white in there. Who knows? Again, it's a card that's situational for me. If I want to put it in if I'm doing a lot of that stuff.
You know, when I read this, you know what? I honestly I didn't read this card.
Oh.
Because I can't stop looking at the artwork. It's weird. It's weird. It's a weird,
yes.
weird.
Yes.
I don't know. It's great. Shout out to
like
the
the blue one,
artist. I
too.
love, like, these people are amazing with their art. But, like, is that it? It's like, what's in its mouth?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't understand
Fire.
it.
Fire.
So I
Not
keep
fire.
looking at it, and then I don't read the text. And so that's why I didn't make any of my lists. But what did make my list
It's another weird-looking card.
Another weird-looking card, but you understand it.
I guess.
Sarkhan's Catharsis, which is 4 and a red, which is why it made my honorable mentions and not my must-haves.
Mhm.
Sarkhan's Catharsis deals 5 damage to target player or planeswalker. Not only can you target the player, you can target a planeswalker. You can't target a creature, oddly enough, so that is kind of weird, which is why also it was honorable mention. But he's got dragons for hands. Not that you should choose, because I just really like Sarkhan, and sometimes we make irrational decisions of why we like cards, okay? But 5 damage is nothing to shy away from. So
to your face.
it
That's a quarter of your life.
Yeah, it definitely deserves an honorable mention. Yeah. That's a quarter, exactly.
It's a quarter
like,
of your life.
Boom.
You're
And,
gone.
or it's a kill shot.
Yeah, totally.
Especially if you're in red.
Yeah.
And if you have Jaya out.
That's 6.
6.
Woohoo.
Anyways.
Bonus.
On to green.
Green.
I love green. We both love green.
Yes, we love green. Green.
So the first one on our list is what?
Bloom Hulk. We both like that one. It's a 4/4 for 3 and a green. Big plant elemental. But when it enters the battlefield, you get to what?
Proliferate.
Woohoo! So
We said it.
we did. So there's that. Even by itself, it's a 4/4 for 4. It's a good big beefy thing, and it's going to add more counters. So counters in green, you're going to find that we kind of like those.
A 4/4 for 4 that proliferates.
Yeah, it's just awesome.
Play that card. It's a common.
Yeah,
it's awesome. So the second one on our list is Courage in Crisis. That is one that I put on mine.
I liked it too.
2 and a green to put a 1/1 counter on target creature, then proliferate. So essentially, you put 2 1/1 counters on a creature because you're obviously going to proliferate the creature that you just put a 1/1 counter on. Plus, you get to put
whatever you want.
more 1/1 counters on anything else that has a 1/1 counter. Hopefully not your opponent's creatures. Don't choose, your opponent's planeswalkers or creatures. That would be silly. It's a good card. I think it's a must-have, for sure.
Yeah, there's other ones that are better. So yeah, I would include it if I had to, for 3.
Yeah, it's an honorable mention for you.
Yeah,
cool,
for sure. So we both chose the Evolution Sage, which is a 3/2 elf druid for 2 and a green. And whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, proliferate. So yeah, it's green.
Ultimately, it's got landfall proliferate.
Yeah,
what the?
Yeah.
Yeah, we both. And it's another 3/2. Another 3/2.
Another 3/2. Yes, I love my 3/2s.
Apparently, the 3/2s are killing it this turn or this time around.
Yeah. Yeah, they can get killed easily.
It is just really powerful.
Whatever.
Because number 1, that's turn 3. You have lots of land to play after that, and you might not get it your first turn. You might not have any counters the first time you play a land, but it's not going to take you long, especially if you're in green, as you'll find out, to get a lot of counters so you can proliferate, because there's a lot of things that can give you counters. So number 4 on our green list is Forced Landing. This is one that made my list. Specifically, it is a 1 and a green for an instant. Put target creature with flying on the bottom of its owner's library. So it's a little situational because it's only flying creatures, but as we've seen in all of these sets, you're going to have to deal with flyers because there's flyers pretty much in every color, except for green.
Flying zombies, Leslie.
Exactly. But you put it not in the graveyard for them to pull back out again.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
You put it at the bottom of their library.
Okay.
Bye-bye creature. Like, it's not going back in their hand. It's not going in the graveyard so they can get it back.
It's a long
It is
ways away.
going a very long ways away. And if they shuffle, there's still a good chance it's a long ways away.
Yeah,
That is
true.
a good card that might be situational, but likely you're going to have to deal with some flyers. So I would put it in
Yeah.
for sure.
Definitely if you're playing green, and for me, if you're playing green, that's one that you want sitting on the top of your stuff to bring in for second game.
Yeah.
For sure.
'Cause-
For me. But
Yeah.
Yeah. What I like better is giant growth for one. So it was funny when this set first started getting released and Arlen came out with her wolves and stuff, and I was so excited because I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna have some green wolves happening, and I knew there was gonna be something to support, and I said to my son, there'll be giant growth, I just know it. And then sure enough, giant growth came out.
And it's a
I
cool,
love that card.
really
I love it.
cool artwork
Love
for
it.
this giant growth.
It is one of my favorite cards.
Yeah.
Because it's an instant. For one, you can make a target creature +3
Yeah.
+3 until end of turn.
It's a good card.
Totally out of nowhere. You totally, yeah.
I didn't put it on my list, but I definitely agree that that's a good card.
And it's got a puppy dog on
It's
it.
this. It didn't make my list for the same reason a Johnny's Pride Mate didn't. Not because I don't like it. I would definitely play with it, but it's just kind of like, yeah, I've seen
Another
that.
one.
Been there,
yes.
done that.
Yes.
All right, the next one on
yeah,
our list.
yeah. I really, really like
Say that name.
Yangu. I'm terrible. I apologize for trashing that name. Wildcrafter.
Someone tell us how to say it.
Yes, please do. So this is a really cool planeswalker from the
Global Series.
Global Series. Thank you. And again, if I'm in green, I'm going to be doing a lot with counters. And so this one here, he comes in. He's only a 3, but we're going to be proliferating a lot. Remember?
Yeah.
So each creature we control with a +1/+1 counter on it has add 1 mana of any color. So I do that kind of stuff all the time. And again, it's a little bit situational, which is probably why Leslie didn't put it in there. But its -1 ability is put a +1 counter on target creature. So it's just going to keep feeding that. It's going to keep helping you with the ramp in green, which is always awesome to have. And yeah, I
liked
love
it. I thought it was a great card. It was, again, like you said, a little too situational for me to put on my must-haves, but I think it's a great card.
Okay.
So now we have honorable mentions. The first
Green.
on our honorable mention green list is Arlen, the voice of the pack. Everyone loves Arlen. She is the Wolf Queen.
Mm-hmm.
She is 4 and 2 green,
Yeah.
which is why she made
Yep.
honorable mention instead.
Unfortunately.
She's also very situational. Each creature you control that's a wolf or a werewolf enters the battlefield with an additional 1/1 counter on it. And then you get to create a 2/2 wolf creature token. So she comes in with 7, which is great.
Mhm.
You're going to do this at least 3 times because she's -2 unless you're proliferating and
Yeah.
giving her more counters.
You got to protect
And they
her.
come in
Yep.
as ultimately they're 3/3s because they're wolves, so they enter the battlefield with a +1/+1
So
counter.
she makes protection for herself at least.
Yeah. So she's a decent card. I would definitely give her honorable mention. She's a little hard to get out. So by turn 6, is it almost too late to start getting like 2/2 or 3/3 wolves on the battlefield, and you have this massive army out in front of you? However, I guess if you have her and our friend Yangu, no, I just butchered it, who makes creatures have tap for mana, then we might have some good
that's
mana
true.
ramp and get
That's
her out
true.
earlier.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I never even thought of that. Yeah, right.
that's why I'm here to help
Of course. Of course.
you. You're here to help me.
We're banding together,
We
which
do
is our
this
next
together.
card. We're going to
Yes.
band together.
Band. I'm with the
So-
band.
So this is an instant that I put on our honorable mention list. It's 2 and a green, and again, this is the green removal for me. So up to 2 target creatures you control each deal damage equal to their power to another target creature. Leslie plays Rabid Bite all the time. I love Rabid Bite, even though she uses it on me all the time.
I actually just realized that was 2 rabbit bites at once.
Yeah.
That makes my
So
must-have
she's changing
list.
her mind. So and it's
That's
an
not
instant.
even honorable mention to me. That is must-have.
It's an instant speed too.
How did I miss this card?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
That
So
is
yes,
awesome.
it's too, well.
Why
yeah.
is it only honorable mention to you? Like, that's awesome.
Well, I
How
have
did
to
I
make sure I
not
have
even
to have
put it
lots
on my
of
list?
creatures out,
That's
right?
true.
You have to have the
You
big
might not have,
creatures.
well,
You
you're
might
going to
not-
have a 3/3 wolf.
Yeah,
And,
I don't know. Again, it depends.
no, wait.
It
Okay,
depends.
so equal to their power to another. So you got 2 creatures doing damage, rabid biting. So you can use your small creatures to kill their big creatures.
yeah, basically, yeah.
That's awesome. You're so
But
smart.
for 3, I know.
That's why I
love
need
this card. I
you.
love this
Thank
card.
you. Okay.
Speaking of
Next
puppy
one on our
dogs and
list
loving puppy dogs,
is Mo, Loyal Companion, and he is quite the loyal companion. I do like him a lot. He's 3 and a green. He's a legendary creature hound. So a reminder that a legendary creature, you cannot have 2 Mo's on the battlefield at the same time. You would have to pick one. He has trample.
That's the downfall.
He has vigilance. And if one or more 1/1 counter would be put on Mo Loyal Companion, then that plus 1/1 counter are put on it instead. Ultimately, to narrow that down, you're going to go put 1/1 counter on it. That means you get to put 1 plus 1. So you're going to put 2 counters on it instead. If you are going to put 4 1/1 counters on it, instead you're going to put 5 1/1 counters on it. So you just get 1 more 1/1 counter every time you put a counter on him. So that's awesome because he's going to grow really fast.
Yep.
Plus he has trample and vigilance.
And vigilance.
Trample
We
and
all know
vigilance.
what trample and vigilance. Ram. Well, yeah, the ram. That is trample.
So this is going to become Ghalta quite quickly. I'm going to play this in my green stompy deck.
Yeah.
Standard for sure. For limited, it is honorable mention because it's a bit situational.
And speaking of situational, my other honorable mention is the Paradise Druid, which is a 2/1 for 1 and a green, and it has hexproof as long as it's not tapped. So I saw this card do some good things in the pre-release, which is kind of why I put it on here, because again, that whole green mana ramp thing, it really seemed to help a lot with mana fixing and stuff. So if you're into that kind of a situation where you're going to try to play 3 colors for even 5 nickel bolas, whatever BS, that is a good card. She used that a lot to fix her mana. So
yeah, I think it's definitely worth. The hexproof is irrelevant because you're going to tap
you gotta
her.
tap it.
You're not going to tap with her. You're not going to block with her. You're just going to use her as a mana dork. She only costs 1. So the unfortunate thing about that is that Chandra's Triumph, is it Triumph?
Yeah.
Or no, her Pyro Helix, you can kill it
as soon as it
quite
gets tapped.
quickly as soon as it gets tapped. Exactly. So, but it is 1 mana of any color. So that's definitely an upside of it.
Yeah. And yeah, the reason I put it in was because I saw it doing so much work for that 5 color deck.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. So on to our multicolors and artifacts. So for our must-haves, the first one on our list is one that I put there. It's Angrath's Rampage. It is a black and a red. The reason it is on my must-have list is because you can use it to make a player sacrifice a artifact or a creature or a planeswalker, and you get to choose that, not them. So it only costs 2. If you're in black and red, it's kind of a no-brainer that you're going to play this. Again, all the ones I put on here, I assumed, okay, you're in those colors.
Yeah.
So if you're in those colors, this is a must-have to put in your deck.
Removal.
Yeah. And it's got lots of different types of removal for the 2. So lots of choice there. The second one I put on there that didn't make your list but made mine was a black and a white for a vampire. I don't understand why you didn't put the vampire on there, but
for this, in my opinion, for sealed, but it will be in all of my other decks.
Well, the reason I put it in was as a must-have because it's a 1/2, so it's a decent like just sit there kind of thing. And there's a lot of removal in this set. there is a lot of removal. And it's not just creatures, it's creatures or planeswalkers. So
Yeah.
they're going to be, it's not a lot of damage, but it's one of those, if I'm in black and white, I'm definitely putting this in my deck. And I think because it's...
Especially if you're going to be sacrificing your own creatures, then you have some
Exactly.
control over that situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, next on our list.
Despark.
Ooh.
Again, that white and the black. One white and the black. This is, yeah, you just have to put this in. It's an instant exile target permanent with converted mana cost 4 or greater.
Period.
Period.
Done.
You're getting rid of
Use
whatever.
it. Permanent.
Yeah.
Planeswalker.
Put it in. It's an instant. Like, yeah.
It gets rid of enchantments. Gets rid of everything.
Everything. Planeswalker. Doesn't matter.
Just their big
Use
cost
it.
cards that they've spent so much
Yes.
on.
Don't use it on something small.
No.
Unless you're desperate, I suppose. But no.
Unless you've turned
Hang on to
unless
it.
you've been turned into a frog.
Yeah, I guess you can get rid of that enchantment. That's
And
on
you
there.
have like
Yeah.
a really big creature
Yeah,
that's
true.
you don't want on there, then maybe use it. But that would go against the flavor because it's Despark. So, anyways.
Yes.
The next one is one that's on your list, Shauna.
Yes, Domray's Ambush. It's 1 red, 1 green. And again, it's that counter thing. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Then that creature deals damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker that you don't control. So you're rapid biting again
Mm-hmm.
with a buffed up creature.
Mhm.
That's why I put it in.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I changed my mind. It's on my list too.
It's a sorcery though, unfortunately, but that's okay.
So
We're gonna
maybe
see
it's
it
on a
What about the Elite Guard Mage?
Elite Guard Mage, 2 and a
Awesome.
white and a blue. We both had this on our list. It's a human wizard with flying because we love our flyers. Not only is it a flyer, it's a 2/3 flyer, so it's got a nice big butt, and we know we like big butts. When Elite Guard Mage enters the battlefield, you gain 3 life and draw a card.
And draw a card.
So, you pay 4, you get a good creature, it's flying, you get to draw a card. That's good in and of itself. Plus, you gain 3 life.
And your Johnny's Pride Mate goes up.
Like,
Again.
if you actually, if I saw this card, I would be very much inclined to look at all the rest of the white and blues that I picked and went,
Mhm.
what else do I have? Because I want to play this card.
Very cool. Speaking of wanting to play cards,
Mm-hmm.
you know me and I like Celestia.
Yeah.
So Huatli's Raptor, which is for 1 green and 1 white, the Celestia colors. It's a 2/3 Vigilance Little Dinosaur.
Mm-hmm.
Vigilance Little Dinosaur. It's a 2/3.
Yeah. Nice little good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But bonus, when it enters the battlefield, you get to pull up Proliferate.
Yay, proliferate!
Yes.
I really
So,
like this whole
yeah.
I hope I get a lot of proliferate cards because I want to make a proliferate
Watch
deck.
out. Yes.
If
I
I
do
do, I mean, you'll get what you get. But the next on the list was another one that you put
Mhm.
on there, Leyline Prowler. So why did you put that one on there,
Because
Shauna?
it's
What
so
is this card about?
awesome. It is for 1 and a green and a black. So it's cost 3 for a 2/3. So it's a little bit more expensive for the 2/3 body, but
Okay, it's
it
good.
has Death Touch and Lifelink. And you could, if you really need to, you can tap it and add mana of any color. But at this point, you really don't even need it. You just need that Death Touch and Lifelink.
Okay, it's on my list too.
So awesome. If you're in black and green, it's
Yeah.
just, it's a must-have.
It's a
there.
must-have.
But we're on the honorable mentions, aren't we? Or
No, we're not. We're still on the
we're
must-haves.
Okay,
There's a
these
lot
are
of
must-haves.
So ultimately,
Ah.
so this is another thing to think about in your polls. Your multicolor cards are going to be stronger than your single color cards. So you're likely going to want to look and see what multicolor cards you got first, and pick the ones that you think these are good cards that I want to play with, and then see what you have in the other colors that go well
Support
with
that.
that.
Yeah.
You've also pulled aside, like, here's my reds that I like, my blues that I like, my blacks that I like, and or as you're going and you're sorting them out, you're kind of putting them aside and going, well, I have mostly black. So then you're going to look at your multicolor cards that go with those colors.
Yeah.
So the other color might, like, let's say, I have a lot of black cards. You're going to look at your multicolors and, maybe you have this black green card. Then you're going to look at your greens because you want to play this Leyline Prowler. So that's kind of the way multicolor works.
Yeah.
Or that's the way I do it.
That's the way I do it too, for sure. They kind of determine what my deck is going to be.
Yeah.
Really.
So we have a
yeah.
Merfolk Skydiver for
Because
a green
a
and a
merfolk.
blue because it's a Merfolk.
But it's only a 1/1, but it's a flyer, a 1/1 flyer.
Yeah.
And when it enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. So it becomes a 2/2.
Yeah. So
pretty
yeah,
much
you can put it on
immediately.
itself, or you can put it on another creature. So
Yes.
that's important
Yes.
to remember. You don't have to put it on a different creature. You can put it on itself and make it a 2/2 flyer, and then you can pay later to proliferate.
Yes, exactly. It's got that little upside on it
Yeah.
as well. So I almost missed this card. Then I'm like, what? Wait.
I would put that on honorable mention for me just because it's so small and it's so easy to kill.
I suppose.
So with there's a lot of little one pingers.
Okay.
So that's the only reason why. Like, it's a great card. So Pledge of Unity, because we
Yes.
are united. This made both our lists. It is one
This
in a
is
black
probably
and a
my
white.
favorite card in the whole
It's
thing.
so great. And then you have like great artwork and everything. But you put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Like what? Each creature. And then you gain 1 life for each creature you control.
Can you think of any decks that I might have that in?
Oh my gosh. I hate you right now because I know what deck you're going to be playing against me, and it's going to like make me mad.
It's an uncommon though, which is it's going to be a rare uncommon, I guarantee it.
Going to have to put a bunch of board wipes in mine.
Yeah, you're going to have to, yeah.
It is an uncommon, so it'll be a rare uncommon. But
Yep.
yes, great little card. Definitely
'Cause I
play
want
it.
lots.
If you're in green or in white, consider this card and play the other.
Yeah, for sure. Tell me about Saheeli.
Saheeli. I love Saheeli. So I put Saheeli on my list. Saheeli Sublime Artificer. She is 1 and hybrid color. So there's some
Yeah, I suppose
versatility
there's
there.
Yeah.
Which is better than a lot of the other planeswalkers that we've seen that only have the 1 color with 2. When you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature token. So every time you cast an instance and sorcery, which if you're in blue and red, you're going to have a lot of, you get your blockers, you get your little 1/1 servos. And then you can also turn your servos into other creatures. Her -2 ability is target artifact you control becomes a copy of another target artifact or creature you control until the end of the turn. So you have, well, yeah, exactly. Don't be so weird. You don't want to swing in with your on-crop crusher or whatever it is. You don't want to swing in with your big creature because that person has death touch.
Okay.
But you don't care about sacrificing a servo.
True.
So let's make that servo into a trample Mowu who's just going to sit there on the back. You know, well, you wouldn't have Mowu if you're in blue.
You never know.
Let's pick a creature that you might have. But let's say you had your Eternal Skylord.
Yeah,
it's a 3/3.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't want to swing in with your Eternal Skylord because you don't want him to die.
Yeah.
So make a copy of it. Swing in with that. It doesn't matter. You kill one of their creatures if they have something really good to block with, or it does some serious damage. Like that's
I just thought it was too
awesome.
situational.
Like every situational.
All right, blue and red. Fine.
We'll see. Tyrant's Scorn. So the next 3 are all on my list, but you can tell us about Tyrant Scorn, and I'll tell you why I like it.
Okay, it is for a blue and a black, an instant that you can choose 1, destroy target creature with converted mana cost 3 or less, or return target creature to its owner's hand. It's way too situational for me. But
really, do you want to read it again just in case?
Okay.
I'm joking. So this one made my list because it is 3 or less.
I guess defense against those zombie armies.
There's a lot of creatures with converted mana cost or 3 or less. There's a lot of 2 and 3. Most people, if you're playing on curve, are going to be playing converted mana cost 2 or 3, right?
Yeah.
So you're not going to have a hard time finding that situation.
Okay.
Also, you can return target creature to its owner's hand. It has nothing to do with converted mana cost. So it is only to their hand, but it gives you some options, and it only costs 2. So if you're in your blue and your black, that's your removal that you're going to want to play.
Okay.
And then this one, I mentioned to Shauna before, And I said, I'm going to convince her. So
Okay,
let's see if
hear
I
it.
convince
Let's hear
her.
you
Okay.
convince me.
Saheeli Silverwing, 2/3 flyer.
Yes.
Period.
For 4.
4 colorless,
Okay.
any color,
All right. All right.
which means it will fit in any deck.
True.
Doesn't matter what deck you're playing. It's practically the only, one of the only good artifacts that we have in this set. And when it enters the battlefield, you look at the top card of your opponent's library.
Yeah, but what do you do with it?
You have knowledge. You know what they're going to pull, so they can't hide it in your
Okay.
hand. Knowledge is power.
Yeah, I suppose.
You know what they have in their hand. You know if it's
But you
just a
don't get to
land.
do
They
anything
can't
with
bluff
it.
you. They can't bluff you. They
Mm.
can't. You know that. You know if they have a removal spell. You can plan around it. Planning is key.
Planning is key. Okay.
And it can go in any deck.
All right.
Did I convince you at least to put it on your honorable mention?
It would. Okay. It'll be in my honorable mention.
What
I
else
would
is-
only play it if I had nothing else at 4.
Okay.
That's
That's
it is a flyer.
It's a flyer, a 2/3 flyer that gives you knowledge in any deck. Right?
I guess. I
Yeah,
guess.
that's
It's
why I
a
put it.
common. It's a common.
It's a common.
So you're gonna have.
I'm
lots
gonna
of
play
them.
it.
Okay.
If I get it, I'm gonna play it.
Okay.
Because it doesn't matter what deck. It's not even if I'm in green, I'm gonna play it. It's if I get it, I'm gonna play it.
Okay. We'll see. Should probably beat me with the damn thing.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so now we're getting into our honorable mentions for the color list.
Yep.
That'll wrap us
We
up
got
here.
3 left.
Okay.
Thank you for staying with us.
Yes,
if you stayed
thanks,
with us so
guys.
far, you are a treat to
Yeah,
us, and we
exactly.
appreciate you.
We're doing it for you. love
So
you.
our first one on our list is
Yes.
Death Sprout. What?
Yeah, so the only reason it's on an honorable mention is because it has 2 black in it
Yeah.
for the cost. So it's 1 colorless and 2 black and 1 green.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be a little hard to get out, but otherwise it's an instant that destroys target creatures, and you get to search your library for a basic land card, put it onto your battlefield tap, then shuffle your library. So
So awesome
Yeah,
card.
it is
And if it
awesome.
was a 1 and a green and a black, it would be
Yes.
way too powerful. So
To
I
add that a
understand
little
why I
bit.
needed the other black,
Yeah.
but because of that, it's only honorable mention because it's going to be a little harder to play.
Yeah.
In builder rounds, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Because you
Oh,
can
for sure.
you can fix your mana that way.
Yeah.
There's not a, I mean there is some mana fixing.
Yeah, but not a lot. And that's what
Not
I
a
was
lot.
thinking that with that green creature.
Yeah.
So
So the next one is Gleaming Overseer. This was honorable mention from Shauna. So why
yes,
is
so because it's again a zombie with for 1 and a blue and a black. So it's a good little 1/4 zombie wizard, and when it enters the battlefield, you get to do the amass thing. But your zombie tokens also get hexproof and menace.
Mhm.
So hexproof, menace, flying.
Yeah.
Would be really fun to start messing with people. It's got the 4 toughness, which is nice to have. I like 1/4 creatures, but only if I'm desperate, kind of thing.
Can you imagine if you had Hexproof, Menace, Flying, and Trample on all your zombies?
That would be just crazy. Crazy.
I want to build that deck.
All right, those are all the. That
Oh.
sounds fun.
Those are the mix. Aren't those the Bolas colors?
Ugh. Let's not talk about Bolas.
If you get Bolas, you
Let's
can
talk
build
about
that
Vraska
deck.
instead.
Okay.
I'm not.
Vraska. Vraska-
playing with Bolas.
The Swarm Eminence is our last honorable mention for the evening. And she is 2 hybrid mana,
Mhm.
green, black, which is great. I love hybrid mana. Whenever a creature you control with Death Touch deals damage to a player or planeswalker, put a 1/1 counter on that creature. That's cool. And then she also creates her own little 1/1 black assassin dudes
With Death Touch.
with Death Touch. So she can create at least 2 of them before she
Hopefully
dies.
more.
Hopefully more if you manage to figure out a way to
Great.
put some stuff on her.
Mhm.
The reason this made honorable mention for me and not for sure play was because if you create a 1/1 assassin creature token, that's great. And then you have to do damage to something, it's going to die unless you get through. Like if anyone blocks it, it
It's-
dies.
Yeah. So that
So you'd have to
You have
they
to
have
get
to
through.
not block.
Yeah.
You have
you're
to get
counting
through.
on them to not block.
You're counting on them not blocking. You're counting on being able to either do damage to them as a player or a planeswalker, and then you get your 1/1 counter. So it's great. They're going to have to sacrifice their creature so that you don't keep getting a bigger and bigger death touch creature. Eventually, they're going to block you, and you're going to kill one of their creatures. But if they have a small little chump blocker, then
yeah. So you'd want to have this against the big Beastie Boys type decks, right? Because they're not going to want to block you with that. I like death touch for that reason.
If it was just does damage to any creature, that would be okay because you could use your death touchers as a blocker and they wouldn't want to swing in. But because you have to do damage to them as a planeswalker or a player, it makes it pretty situational, and you might or might not. It's not going to work a lot of the time, but that's a really cool ability, so it still made our honorable mention.
Yeah. Well, and plus, I don't know if you saw on the bottom, on the very bottom of this, those little assassin tokens. So if they deal any damage to a planeswalker, it just
destroy
dies.
that planeswalker. Yeah.
So
So
the
if you
Nicol
swing
Bolas will
in,
just die.
to their planeswalker.
Yes.
Because
It'll
they're
just
going to
die.
want to block.
Yeah.
And then you at least kill their thing.
their creature. Yeah.
Hopefully they don't just have a bunch of small creatures that they can block with.
Yeah, which is
But then if they have a whole bunch of big creatures on the battlefield, then you're in trouble anyway. So I just don't want that to happen. Let's just swing in with my Silverwing and be done. I wish there was a way that like maybe you give Silverwing death touch. Maybe the little assassin can jump on the Silverwing
give it death touch
and ride it over. That's what I think should happen, Wizards. So make it so. A vehicle. It could be a vehicle. Wouldn't that be cool if vehicles...
Well, there is that big
No, I know,
vehicle is
but
huge.
if the vehicles just brought you over there and then the creatures inside the vehicle did the
Jumped out.
damage, that would be a really cool mechanic to add. Please do it.
It would
Anyway,
be so complicated. Okay.
I like complicated. Thank you for
Yes,
making
thank
it
you.
to the end of our video. And if you liked what you heard this evening or this afternoon or this morning while you were
Whenever you're
listening,
watching it.
whenever you're watching this, please like and subscribe and share our video. And in the meantime, we would love it if you just tapped those magic cards and had fun doing it.
Yeah. See you at the pre-release.
See ya.